sharing on the socials.
On the socials.
Let's go live.
On the socials.
Hey, you dorks, this is Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you are listening to The Dorkening.
Hi, I'm Brian Johnson, and although you probably accidentally stumbled across it and have no idea why you're watching it, you are in fact watching The Dorkening.
Hello, this is Tom Kenny, voice actor, the voice of the Ice King on Adventure Time, and SpongeBob SquarePants. Ah, meow. Oh, Gary the Snail, too. Hey, guess what you're filling your eye holes and ear holes with? The Dorkening! Oh, I love The Dorkening. Very popular in Ooh. And Bikini Bottom.
Hi, I'm Lou Ferrigno. You're watching The Dorkening. And you know what? You don't like me when I get angry, so don't get me angry. You better keep watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, this is Felissa Rose, and you're watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, it's Courtney Palm. We're shooting Death House, and you're watching The Dorkening.
This is Anthony Michael Hall, and you're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned. My friend's going to show you what entertainment's all about, baby.
The Dorkening.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
Hey, happy Monday, everybody. You're watching Creator Spotlight, powered by the Dorking Podcast Network. And right now, we're also streaming live on Dead Dork Radio. So, this is going to be a fun show. And with us, as always, Philip, how's it going, my friend?
Pretty good, Leo, and it's good to see you, my friend.
Always great to see you. RW, I love watching you like mouth the intro, while everything's playing.
Yeah, and then I had to go get stuff because, like I said, space. I apologize, and then never mind. Anyways, good to be here.
Great to have you. Brandon, how's it going, bud?
It is going, Leo. I'm hoping that it's doing the same for you.
It is, and thank you for saying going, because you just reminded me I needed to hit live on one more spot.
Yeah, that's why I'm here, man.
Oh yeah. So we have a is it a webbed slinger or what's going on here? You brought a guest.
Guys? I'm Lenny. How are you guys? Good to see you all. Nice to meet you.
Hey Lenny, great to have you.
Lenny, thanks for being here, man.
Guys.
Alexa just for some reason. So Brandon, you invited Lenny. Why don't you introduce him?
Sure thing. Lenny Schwartz is a playwright and director and comic book author. He's a multi-hyphenate creative. That's probably the best way to put it. I've actually seen one of his plays, a couple of the movies he's done, and right now Lenny is putting together a Kickstarter campaign. I think there's just about a month or so left on it because he is starting to work in earnest on a movie project called The Haunted and the Hunted. Seems to be a very interesting horror project, and I don't want to jump into it just now. I'd like to get into the nitty gritty and see what Lenny might like to say about everything that's been going on.
Well, if I could interject, Brandon, because
you
mentioned
cannot.
that he's
No, absolutely not. Mute his mic right now.
Never.
On a serious note, Brandon mentioned that he's a man of many talents, including directing. However, in the Kickstarter trailer, it says he's never directed a film in his life, and now he's going to do it. So, what does this directing mean? Was that you actually directed plays prior to wanting to direct this horror film?
Yeah, I guess it's a little misleading. I've directed plays for about 20 years, and over the pandemic, I actually did these.
Lenny.
Yeah,
Lenny, you're sounding very muffled right now.
Yes. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you better.
Excellent.
Yeah.
There we go.
Excellent.
So I directed about 20 plays before the pandemic. Actually, well, 20 years of plays, I should say. And I directed before, like films, but not like going on set and doing things. I did stuff during the pandemic where we do these. Me and Nathan Shore, I'd write the script, and I direct these actors, but they shoot on their cell phones. And we put together these kind of movies kind of together as these pandemic films. One of which we did in 10 days, which was
Lenny.
You're
Lenny,
going out again.
You're getting muffled and faded out again.
Oh no, it's probably my internet. Hang on, how's this?
That's perfect.
Right,
it's either the internet or your thumb. Something.
Well, let me see what's going on. Let me see what the speaker is. Oh, okay. Let me see. It might be my internet. Let's try this. Can you guys
That's
hear me?
good. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
I heard something about Ace Ventura. That's about all I picked up.
Oh,
on
Ace
the
Ventura,
whole
there you
thing.
go.
Oh, righty then.
Right. So basically, I directed these pandemic films that me and Nathan Shore did kind of together, and I said, you know what, it's really time to dive in and do the script. And I had the script for so long that I was just like, I wrote it in 2015, and it's something that's very different. So I wanted to direct something. I've always wanted to direct a film, and this was the opportunity. This is the film. I mean, I can't get it out of my head, to be honest with you, and I don't think I ever can until I actually direct it. So that's what the Kickstarter is all about. Yeah, the reason I'm Spider-Man down here, and the reason I say Spider-Man is because I actually directed a play about Steve Ditko, the co-creator of Spider-Man, actually. And
Nice.
which is really like a great, and I've done some other films, some other plays too about comic creators. I'm doing one about Bill Finger, the co-creator of Batman, basically. And I actually did the story with Athena Finger and Alethea, her sister. So that'll be coming out in the fall. I wrote a play version of it years ago. I wasn't happy with it, but I went back to it. I'm very excited about that. But this film is something I've always wanted to do and always wanted to, I always had this idea of what I want to do with the film. And I actually know how to do it. And I know how to get it done. So, the film itself, I also want to make a very quality film. So it's not something that will be, you see a lot of people, they direct films, and I'm not begrudging them this, but to go from film project to film project and everything, this is my film. This is what I'm working on for 2 to 3 years coming on at this point. This is just the beginning of this Kickstarter. Is just the beginning. If it gets through, great. If not, I retool it and I go back, and we're gonna make the film no matter what. But it's a matter of getting the right quality, and I won't really put anything forth until it has the quality that I want it to be. Basically, I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I found it very exciting because of the fact that it's going to be your first full directorial feature. Because I have been fortunate enough to see some of the things that you've written and what you've written and directed for plays. I did go to see Ditko.
Cool.
Yeah, it was excellent.
Oh, thank you.
And it made me kick myself even harder because I was made aware of your existence by my best friend Alex DiVincenzo, one of my best friends in the world. Alex. He is.
Yeah.
And it was all because we were in his parents' basement. This is a few years ago, and I can't even remember how it came up. I'm a geek, so I mean, most of you guys know. You'll just jump at the chance to be like, "Oh, I know all about this thing that you mentioned in passing," and it happened to be like Batman, and I was like. And it was something like, oh, yeah, well, actually, Bob Kane is a dick. And it all stemmed from an article I'd read, Wizard Magazine, which is a very old-fashioned sentence to say right now.
Right.
And I told him all about Bill Finger. I just, took one big breath and just, And by the time I was done, he's like, oh, you know what? You sound like you would really enjoy the play Co-Creator by Lenny Schwartz. I said, really? What's that? And he goes, well, it's actually not running anymore. I'm like, why fucking bring it up, dude? Why? Why would you do that to me? But that's how I found out who you were. And I looked it up and all that crazy stuff. And then slowly but surely I was exposed to Scorpio Film Releasing. And I met Richard.
Great.
Yeah, I've been to premieres. I've actually been an extra in a couple of the movies.
Oh, which ones were you in?
I was actually in one of the ones you wrote, Long Night in a Dead City.
Oh, I love that film. I still to this day think it's the best one we've ever done.
Dude,
you were in it. That's why.
I was just gonna say, you're welcome. Great story. I showed up for a scene in the bar. What's her name? Anna Rizzo.
Yeah, such a great scene. He nailed that scene. Which version were you in that? Because we shot that scene twice, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
I played the fat bearded guy with a hat. Whichever version had that. It was one of those deals where I was in it. I was in it. Because I went to the premiere, but
right.
He had us all stay very still, and he was cutting it so it really did look like they just stopped the frame, but every single one of us was actually just staying still.
That was
still for the camera.
Yeah, that scene especially was probably one of the most incredible things I think that Richard's ever filmed. Actually, I really do believe that. Not just because you were in it, but Richard was I'm serious, but he really did a great job. He shot that scene twice, actually. I think he shot it with 2 different actors, if I'm not mistaken. I think it ended up being Anna Rizzo. But I forget who it was originally cast, and he recut the scene actually because he didn't like the first version. And he's like, but this scene's I figured out what it is. It's actually an unbelievable film. It's one of those films that not because I wrote it because you were in it. I really feel that Richard really took that film and really just brought it to. Did you see Before the Night Is Over by chance?
I haven't yet. No, it's in my queue.
Too.
I've heard great things about it. Seriously.
Yeah, Richard nailed that script.
But between the two of you, I mean, in Long Night in a Dead City, I'm a big David Lynch fan.
Oh, me too.
And because when I saw Long Night in a Dead City, I was like, oh, okay. Like David Lynch would masturbate to watching this movie. Like this would be his porn.
He has.
I love this movie. It's so good.
plastic blue velvet. I'm wild at heart. Anyway.
I just want to butt in here for a second for everybody watching or listening, because we are also streaming on Dead Dork Radio. There's links in the show notes up above or down below. So you got your Kickstarter, and what else do we have in there? Your Never Enough books.
Yeah. So I actually wrote a graphic novel too. That's a graphic novel I wrote. Thank you guys for including that. I was very fortunate to write a graphic novel. I get very lucky in life, and I know that, trust me. You know, but that was a project that came about 3 years ago, actually. So, and we sold copies of it, but it's gotten some good acclaim to it. We won 2 book awards, but I never seen the awards. Anyway,
that's what they tell me.
That's what they tell me. You know, I've seen the awards.
So, quick question: is there a way for now? I'm very interested in it. Is there a way for people to see co-creator? Because
so the original version people loved, and I freaking hated. Like, I hated the version of it. I hated it so much. And originally, the story of co-creator goes like this. Originally, it was a screenplay, and then it became a play because we're opening up a playhouse, and I put together a script in 6 weeks for that. And that's what co-creator was. It was a script I wrote in 6 weeks. And I hated it. It sucked. But it wasn't bad. People loved it. They loved it so much because it was every beat that people would love. And I knew that. I knew exactly what I was doing when I did it. And I hated it. Like, it just hated the version of it. And it kind of sucked with me. So then I had an opportunity, which I can't talk about here, to do it as a screenplay. And, you know, I said, okay, to redo it as a screenplay. So I was excited about that. And I was like a year of work, and I can't really talk about it because otherwise I'll probably get sued. And, which, fine, whatever. But I'll tell you guys off this. You guys want to know the full thing.
Sure.
But then the rights kind of came back my way. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to do the version I've always wanted to do as a play. And I was supposed to do it, and I had the theater all set up. I was going to New York with it. Everyone was excited. And then a thing called the pandemic happened, and it fucking sucked. So 2020, it was supposed to happen, and we were supposed to do it. And I was like, oh, God. So, but in 2000, this fall, we're doing it right before New York Comic Con, actually. I'm renting out a theater.
Nice.
I'm already, I've been talking even today about talking to the theater. I'm bringing a cast. I'm doing it in Rhode Island. I'm doing it in New York, for sure. That's for sure. October. And September in Rhode Island, October, New York.
All right, Leo, cool. September in Rhode Island. You got that, pal?
Okay. Would that be at Rhode Island Comic Con?
No, I know.
You fucking wish.
I'll make the offer, but it's like anything else. You always have conditions, and I get really antsy with conditions, and I'm like, I'll just do it myself. Yes. You know, I'd rather just do it right and do it rather than, you know, make compromises, cutting it down to an hour. We're not doing that. You know, we want people to actually tell the story, you know?
Yeah. So, and it's a story that more people need to know about. I mean, the whole Bill Finger story,
right?
You know, it's just heartbreaking, you know?
Oh, it really is. Have you guys seen the documentary at all? Or?
Oh, yeah, multiple times. Philip, RW, have you seen it?
What is it?
It's Batman and Bill. I believe it's on Hulu.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a Hulu documentary.
So I am actually credited on that documentary, which is really cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, what's great about it was Mark Nobleman is one of the nicest people I've ever met. Honestly, he's been very supportive of the script. You know, he came to see it when it first premiered. He said such nice words. I'm like, I could do better. It was actually a character in the play, actually, which is really nice.
Oh, nice.
And it was very, very, very cool. He's just the nicest guy in the world. Wrote about it on his blog. He supported us, very supportive even now. I'm sure I'll email him and he'll be like, oh gosh, I saw him just before the pandemic too. But he's great. Athena's great. If you never get a chance to meet her. She's amazing. The family's great too. The family's just awesome. So I mean, I got very lucky that when you get to go to comic conventions, when you start to write plays like this, you get to meet a lot of people's family. I will say I've never met Bob Kane's family though.
Oh, nuts.
They might not like me too much. I'm just kidding. No. I don't even know where they are. Like, I think they probably want to get, I think they're probably like Jesus, you know? They don't want to get anywhere near that guy. But I have not met Bob Kane's family. I have met Stan Lee's family and, whatever. But I met the nicest families I've met, though. The Dickos and the Fingers. Unbelievable families.
I was going to say, you might want to qualify that I met Stan Lee's family, whatever thing, with like an explanation as to Ditko. Like,
yeah.
Because Bob Kane in the Bill Finger story is comparable to Stan Lee in the Ditko story.
Well, that's the thing. I know people might not like hearing this, and I don't really have a problem with Stan Lee though.
No.
If you get a chance, really, if you ever want to see the Ditko play or anything like that, I'll gladly send it to anybody.
Oh.
But if you look at what Stan Lee did, Stan Lee was he. I can't take away anything that Stan Lee brought to comics. Stan Lee was a great promoter of comics. He was great. Like, he was the great promoter of comics. Let's be honest. Books wouldn't exist without Stan Lee. However, that being said, in Stan Lee's estimation, he's the only thing that's responsible for comics. And if you look at it, everything we look at right now, as far as designs, these Avenger movies, the Spider-Man movie just hit, that's all Steve Ditko. That entire movie's No Way Home is Steve Ditko's designs. From all the villains in that film, I would think, all the villains, everything like the Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Electro, these guys all came from Steve Ditko. And you can look at that movie and be like, everything's, and even it's the most Ditko film since Spider-Man 2, I would think. And it really is, and it resonates. Now you might say, okay, well, Doctor Strange is by Steve Ditko. Steve Ditko actually created Doctor Strange. This stuff wouldn't exist without Ditko. Like, these designs wouldn't work. They just wouldn't be there. So to say everyone's like, oh, Stan Lee, no, you have to include Steve Ditko in that conversation. That is really, that's Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 2. I have a friend who says this very often. He says, I don't want to take away anything that Stan Lee does, but it has to be 50%. And I agree with that too, especially for artists. We should be fighting for these artists.
What do Stan Lee and the Beatles have in common?
What's that?
They are both overrated. So, like, seriously, everybody thinks the Beatles is the greatest band on the planet, and everybody's like, Stan Lee. But like you say, Ditko and Kirby and all these people who actually drew this stuff got the shaft, and Stan Lee rode the road to fame and kind of left those guys in the dust. That's my opinion.
What it is he made his bigger than life persona, his Ant-Man persona, take center stage every time. So he became synonymous with timely Marvel comics.
Right.
And therein lies the problem, is because he stayed front and center whenever anybody thought of the merry Marvel marching society. They automatically head in the head like, hey there, true believer, Excelsior.
Well, even like all the comics, the end of the, beginning of like the Hulk, not comics, but cartoons from like the 80s and 90s. Began with Stan Lee.
Been caught by the army. Every time.
I mean, the comics said, Stan Lee presents Iron Man, or Stan Lee presents, sort of like John Carpenter. John Carpenter presents The Thing. John Carpenter's.
He directed those, but he's allowed to do that.
Back to what Brandon was saying. Sorry, I'm like, my memory's going, and I'm like, why did I come downstairs again? Like,
podcast. That's
why. Jeez, bro. So he was talking about being an extra in this film, and I started out doing extra work, and now I'm lucky I'm getting like actual speaking roles and stuff. But there was just one project I did where I was supposed to be eating
amount of work.
Where I was supposed to be eating pizza, and I never heard them yell action. So if you watch this short film I'm in, I got a slice of pizza like this. And the camera goes by me, and the whole time I'm like waiting for action. So it's like horrible, but
it's funny you say that, because like that's said, that's what my role was in that movie. Like,
it really was. It really was.
with a bottle in front of my face.
You feel like you've been blessed, and like I have to agree that I started out nowhere, and now like I've written a book, a comic book, and I've done all this stuff, and I want to just say I love your energy.
Thank you.
Like when you get whatever project, whether it's this one or another one going, I'd love to work with you, because most people I work with are like this.
Well,
and like your energy is just like, holy shit, whatever he's doing, even if it sucks, it's going to be fun.
Whatever he's on, he better start sharing.
Yeah. The funny thing is though, is I have a lot of energy, but it's like people when they see it, and this is the thing that's gonna be very different about this film, I think people expected me to do a comedy when I first was going to do when I was going to do a film. They thought I was going to write a comedy because I have so much energy, right? They're like, it makes sense. I'm going to do what Kevin Smith did, and do all those things. The problem is it wouldn't be true to what I want to do. And when I direct, I certainly do have a lot of energy because it gets very exciting to me what something can be. I'm doing a play in the spring. I'm doing a play about gun control in America, and it's a very serious subject. Very, very, we have to make sure I'm very, very restrained on my directing. But at the same token, too, and people are like, wow, I think the biggest thing I always hear is like, wow, I wasn't expecting you to be like that, But the thing of it is I take that energy and I harness it to be something that is very focused and as focused as can be. And that's what this film's going to be. The thing about this film is that I'm doing is very intimate. And that's the thing that I'm not saying very much of right now. And like talking about press, it's going to be a very intimate film. Like, I mean, it's literally going to be like a 95 to 105 minute heart attack, basically. But it's going to be a very different experience for people because and rather than what ends up happening with playwrights who direct film, they don't do film. They're still in love with their voice or hearing their dialogue. I want to take. I said this before in an interview. I identified what my two biggest crutches are. My two biggest crutches are, going with these wacky and zany situations. And the other thing too is to big characters and to do something like the interactions and to also have as much fun dialogue as I possibly can. That's how you kind of, you make your mark. Yeah. I took those things away this time. And I said, when I'm gonna do my first film, I'm taking that all away. I don't want to, I'll tell you guys more after the show. I don't want to say too much about it, but I want to take away those crutches and do something that is actually visually, just tells the story without, in a lot of regards, I think a lot of people, when they start doing films, you don't take the, and I'm not saying anything with local filmmakers. I think you have a very skilled amount of local filmmakers, but I want to do something that takes the cinema very seriously. We're going back to the 1920s and the 30s, actually. Something that's very visual, something that's very just terrifying, just to like, and I also don't want to do the traditional film where, where people are expecting, a certain type of horror film. I want to do something we haven't seen before. We don't have Hollywood budget. We won't. I mean, I'll be lucky if I raise 30 grand. If I don't, I have to go back to Indiegogo and beg people for more money. That's fine. I'm okay to do that. But if I'm going to do that, I'm not going to do something that is taken out of a box and put onto a shelf, basically. I want to do something that is going to be very, very different for horror. In fact, I love horror. I think horror is amazing. So,
I mean, judging from what little you've put out there so far, which I completely understand playing it close to the vest right now, obviously. But just the plot itself, I mean, has me wildly intrigued. And it certainly is right in step with what you were just talking about. The plot being the world. I want to say it in the movie, I've always so bad. The world has ended and werewolves have destroyed much of America. And it takes place after the world has ended during the 3-night cycle of the werewolf. One woman tries to survive the 3 nights as she is being chased by a wolf pack. She has a gun with 1 silver bullet. Dude, you are literally going to make a fucking psychodrama with a horror backdrop. Like, all right, I'm there. Like,
so you said before, people have asked me what I'm doing. I can say this. This is what I will say. If you like David Lynch, you'll like this, basically. If you like the movie, and I'm not, not saying anything about Polanski, but if you like the movie Repulsion, if it reminds you of Repulsion, that is kind of the, basis point of, where we're going with this, basically. So it's
going to be an unreliable narrator then?
I can't tell you.
Like Repulsion, because that's what Repulsion is, right?
Yeah. The thing I'm trying to identify in the script is, taking those moments. I mean, really, what's amazing about the one thing I will say about this, another thing I can say about this. So we have Sherry Lee's in the film. I've seen a lot of stuff she's done. This will be a deconstruction of everything she's done. And we're going to literally take apart everything, because that's what you do. I mean, you have somebody who's very talented and they're doing these, not the same kind of roles, but people kind of put her in these roles, and do this and this. And she might get a comedy or she might get this, but in horror, she's kind of relegated to this. And it's understandable. That's what people do. I want to do the Unforgiven for Sherry Lee. I want to literally take Sherry Lee and put it through freaking Unforgiven, and literally, and if you know what that means like literally we're going to deconstruct her entire image and put it back together, and let's see what remains afterwards, basically. And that's what I want to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, she is a very talented actress.
Oh, she's phenomenal.
As well as an absolutely lovely individual.
Oh, absolutely. That's what's been really great about this whole process thus far. Like, I talked to her about 4 years ago. And we had met just before the pandemic again. We were like, we're going to shoot. And then it became impossible to shoot in 2020 because we couldn't get film crews going. And then in 2021, we're like, okay, well, let's get this stuff going. And we're like, all right, we started mentioning it. We started having meetings, and I'm like, well, what do I want to do with this? The thing I don't want to do is I don't want to just put something out. I'd rather not put it out next year, and I'd rather let it incubate and let it do things. If it comes out in 2-3 years, we have a film that goes beyond. That's what I want to make this film beyond what we can possibly do. And I know what it takes to do that. It might be huge sacrifices as far as getting things done, but I want to get it done because the problem is I find with a lot of filmmakers that they have a great idea, and I love the idea, and I think it's amazing. These people have such great ideas, and they're fantastic. What ends up happening though is that they don't realize that if they put that extra year into something and make that or extra 6 months, this could be something that could go beyond where we are rather than starting from scratch for someplace else. I really do believe this, that the idea of Hollywood right now is shifting. Basically, how many people have been to a movie theater as much? How many times have you guys been in the movie theater since the pandemic?
Like
about the same amount that I used to go when there was no pandemic.
Hey, shut up then, RW. You don't count.
Twice for me.
Yeah,
four times.
I've been about 8 times, maybe.
Yeah. So before the pandemic, I used to go every week, at least once a week, twice a week. I loved it. I thought it was just my favorite thing in the world to do. Now I'm lucky if I get to go once a month. But even before the pandemic, we were streaming things, and now everything's coming streaming. What that people look at it as a bad thing, whatever. It's not. We should be looking at it as local filmmakers as being like, we can compete now. That's what we should be thinking about. We can take our ideas and compete with these guys. So that's the idea behind it. Actually, too. Yeah. Is that I keep telling people, I keep saying, it's not just about me. I want to see what your project can do, because, and again, my project might fail. It might be a huge failure. I'm not going to thinking about that, whatever. But I'm making that attempt because I think that if enough of us make these films and make them take what we normally do and shoot higher, basically, if we shoot higher, then we could possibly really actually make a difference in the system, basically. Give ideas, give rather than getting McDonald's, all the time. That's what they're feeding us, these studios. We're getting McDonald's, we're getting Burger King, we're getting, Wendy's. That's kind of what we're getting. And every so often a really nice meal comes through, or you get the Power of the Dog, which you get diarrhea. I'm kidding. It was a good movie. It was a good movie. No, it was all right. Anyway.
Wow.
Sorry, Jane Campion. I love you. Still owe me $5. Anyway. But I really do believe that we can take our ideas, every single one of us, and actually compete and actually make something rather than I do believe that. So anyway,
yeah, it certainly seems like it's the type of move that can level the playing field for community filmmaking, local community filmmaking, I should say. And once again, it's kind of one of those things, especially within a local community doing it as opposed to like the big guns, the big studios. I mean, when somebody else succeeds, that success should be heralded by everyone that's part of that same community, because when one person does it, everybody else gets more notice and has more opportunity because of it.
Right.
I think that domino effect is certainly something that should be hoped for, and it obviously like that would be the actual like end game execution, like what happens with anything being noticed. But regardless of all of that, you're putting something out there, regardless of whether it's successful or fails, because you want to contribute something that has a bit more substance to the zeitgeist, as opposed to these empty calories that's being shoved down our throats.
Right. And not to say there's not great films out there done by the studio, not seeing it all. I've seen some really great stuff, but it gets tiring. I want to see something that's actually fresh, and that excites people and actually says, hey, you know what? This could be very exciting. Whether or not it is my film or something else or somebody else's film. I want to see something that's so exciting that I have to go see it. Like, that's, people, the reason I said that is like, we say that about films. How many movies have we all been excited about? Let me guess. Everyone here went to go see Spider-Man No Way Home. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, everyone.
Start this weekend. Start the weekend.
Yeah,
No.
Yep.
I saw it first time this weekend.
No, did you? But you went to go see it, though. The thing of it is that really excited people because it's exciting, right? I think the new Doctor Strange will be the same thing, actually. I think that'll be such an exciting event for people.
Actually, I've been hearing raves about the new Batman.
Oh, I cannot wait to see the new Batman, actually. I'm dying to see it. But how many people are going to go see that? This is something to be very excited about. This is what people who get mad about Marvel comic movies, Marvel comics and everything like that. But they get people to theater because they're fun,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I actually think it was Paul Thomas Anderson fairly recently said, like, why am I going to get upset about, Marvel movies and superhero movies? I mean, nobody's going to cinemas right now, but all kinds of people are going to go see Spider-Man No Way Home, and we should be thankful for that. That's the kind of thing that makes people remember why they like going. So thanks, Spider-Man. I appreciate it.
Well, also, they started doing a lot more streaming, like, first, rather than the theaters. And, even though, that totally takes away from their budget and they're losing, certain revenue from the theaters, it definitely opened up a lot of the movies for a lot of people that couldn't go to the theater, with health issues and everything.
Absolutely.
And streaming, I mean, a lot of people, we need physical media, and I totally get that. But I think streaming, as you said, is definitely going to be a opening door for a lot of indie filmmakers. It's already there, but I think it's opening a lot of people's eyes to what's available. And once they start seeing that the original content that's available, you're not getting, a rebooted sequel for the 9th time. You're getting something original.
Right. If we can find this, and again, maybe I'm not the person to say this, but if we can find somebody who can create a streaming app, streaming something for independent filmmakers, I mean, honestly, you would have. I mean, that would be a hell of an idea. Honestly,
yes, it would. Patent pending.
Patent pending. Right.
I've been hearing Tubi is good for independents.
Tubi is really good. Really good.
Yeah,
really
my
good.
independent projects are on Tubi.
Yeah, and they have a decent payout as well, as opposed to like Amazon. I keep on hearing they're you're getting like fractions of a penny per minute or something like that.
I generally don't get any of the profits basically off. I get off anything, and if I do, it's usually like a small check. I would just donate it to somebody. I mean, Amazon used to be good for filmmakers. Now they're just Amazon, basically, and they showed who they are. Basically,
they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. They're raising their price for Prime like another $20 or something like that.
Are you serious? Oh god.
Yeah.
It depends on how you order it, but again, obviously, the main reason, for example, the reason I did it wasn't for the movies. I did it for the free shipping, but the movie, so they have an extra benefit there. But I agree. I mean, there's no reason for them to raise the price.
Amazon Prime would be better if they're going to give us $20 more. I'd pay $40 more if they can just figure out how to use their damn system to catalog the movies. You can't see anything. Like it's like the worst. Anyway,
it's like scatter shot. Somebody just threw shit on a wall, saw it stuck. That's the order. There you go.
And what's annoying is I share my Amazon account with my family.
Yeah.
And so that they can order and get the free shipping and stuff like that. But if they watch something on it, there's no profiles. Like I'll go on my Fire Stick and all of a sudden there's like a whole row of stuff like recently watched, and I'm like, who the hell's watching that? It's just
Leo. There are profiles.
There are?
Yeah,
there are profiles.
Set them up, buddy.
Leo, are they using
I'll show you after the show.
Leo, are they using your credit card too, your family? Because I'm sure it's stored in your account.
It's happened a couple times.
Leo, I also would like to be on your Amazon and need your credit card information.
Well, what's funny is like every now and then I'm like, wait a second, I didn't subscribe to Stars. Huh?
Wait a minute, I didn't buy 5 seasons of Naruto. What the fuck is this shit? The Jackie Chan adventures. The fuck?
Now that's something I would watch.
Actually, I do own all of that on Amazon.
Yes, you do. And my daughter does too.
Yeah, but
Actually,
it wasn't Leo that bought it, right?
No. What's sad was, for a while there, I was buying. I watched stupid shit to fall asleep, and I'm hooked on like Ancient Aliens. So I was like actually buying the episodes on Amazon because I didn't have cable.
Was it those midnight softcore porn or something?
Fucking
Ancient Aliens is where
scratching at 2 a.m. I gotta see the Greek guy talk about aliens.
Yeah, we
lost Lenny. Lenny's done. He was like, "Yeah, thanks for having me on."
Yeah, he said, "I'm out of here."
Ancient Aliens, forget that shit.
Well, hey, he's pissed. He's pissed that RW said the Beatles sucked. So I would leave too.
I'll say it again.
I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there.
Like I was.
Well, you're wrong, man. You're wrong. You're wrong. And actually, I don't know. It's just too funny. But I wasn't excited for any of those superhero films. I mean, I was all right.
Yeah, we know, Phil.
They're definitely not.
It depends what it is.
Yeah, they're not for everybody,
is,
but yeah, certain people like I know definitely myself. Any superhero movie I'm excited for.
Yeah.
You guys mentioned Batman a couple times, and I can't say really anything except for I'm actually working on a top secret Batman independent project, and if I could tell you about it, it would absolutely blow your mind.
Well, I'm really glad you brought it up then.
Yeah, you're welcome. But I am like so excited to do that. It'll probably be at the end of the year or something, though. But yeah, it's pretty wild.
Wow.
It'll be up there, if not, and not to whatever, but like that Roseblood thing or whatever. It'll be up there, if not better concept than that or whatever. But,
there's some pretty cool, independent Batman, shorts out there.
There really are.
Hey, Leo, now that Mr. Schwartz is back, why don't we play the trailer for his Kickstarter? Can we do that?
You have to sign an NDA, I think. No.
Yeah, there's not a way to download it, but I might be able to
mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, mirror, and we all be quiet.
The mirror. Give me the mirror.
Yeah, let me.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm working on it.
Pretend Warren Zevon's Werewolves of London is playing the whole time.
So I
gone wild at the end.
Yeah, I got to change. Extra camera, new shirt. What? You changed.
PC load letter. What the fuck does that mean? Ooh.
Here we go. Oh, what the hell? Stop it.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Stop it. Why is it playing through that? Hold on.
I mean, we have no choice but to hold on, Leo.
Is that James Remar?
Yes. That's exactly who that is. Tell your friends.
Lenny's gonna direct a movie.
Writer/director Lenny Schwartz is making a horror movie.
And I, for one, am absolutely ecstatic about it.
I am so excited that Lenny is making his first movie.
I think I'm supposed to say something funny or sarcastic, but you, Lenny. I'm going to be sincere.
Lenny Schwartz is exuberant. He's nice.
Blessing to all actors.
Funny. So excited about things he makes.
Stories that people have needed to hear without them knowing they needed to hear them.
He allows his actors to just create and try things.
He has this way of making every person involved feel like a star. I think that brings out the best in people.
This guy has an inexhaustible well of creativity.
Innovative ideas, his passion, his vision.
It's contagious. It makes this fire inside of you.
And he hasn't directed a film yet?
Really?
I cannot wait to see what's coming next.
It's going to be wild, wacky, crazy, awesome.
I am so excited to see everything Lenny does in the future.
Throw your money. Donate. Just take a flatbed truck, put all of your money on it, and just drive it over to his house right now.
Especially now, we need creators. Support this dude. We need more.
Please support this campaign because this is going to be an awesome film.
And the sky's the limit because Lenny's one of those limitless people.
It is going to be incredible.
Masterpiece.
Good luck, Lenny. You're hysterically funny and you're brilliant.
You're f***ing all-star, kid. You're f***ing all-star.
Lenny knows sex. Kickstarter. With a K. Kickstarter. K.
Oh, Kickstarter with a K. Okay. I don't know if he knows that. But he knows sex.
Greetings, Spice fans. Silk City Hot Sauce is now sponsoring the Dorkening Podcast Network. Our craft sauces are made in Vermont in small, high-quality batches using locally sourced, farm-grown ingredients. Silk City Hot Sauce comes in a variety of heat strengths and killer flavors like Jezebel, Erotic Fever, Mango Madness, and Good Morning Jonestown. And don't forget our newest creation, Hot Syrup. Make no mistake, Spice fans, this is the queen of sweet heat. There's new and unique flavors coming out all the time. Best of all, right now, listeners of the Dorkening Podcast Network can go to silkcityhotsauce.com and use coupon code DORK. Not only will you get 20% off your order, we'll also throw in a free bottle of hot sauce. That's silkcityhotsauce.com. Coupon code DORK.
Hey, you can't beat that. Free bottle of hot sauce and 20% off. And you can learn more about Silk City Hot Sauce and the Kickstarter in the show notes up above or down below. There we go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well,
I do like that the Kickstarter was sandwiched in between Deadly Grounds Coffee and Silk City Hot Sauce. It's like, all right, stuff that'll run right through you. Lenny's Kickstarter for The Haunted and the Hunted, and other stuff that'll run right through you. It will also wake you up, but in a more horrifying way.
Right.
Judas Priest.
Well, I sometimes run right through people. It depends, an acquired taste. One day you're fine, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, God, Lenny. Oh, gosh, you have to excuse yourself. It's awful. Let me tell you.
We got a lot of things that we're trying to get out to people here. We're spreading it out. It's like a schmear on an everything bagel from Shmuley's Deli. Phenomenal.
So Lenny, we were chatting, and I know this is totally off topic, but before you came on, did you have some hand in the Disco Exorcist?
I didn't actually.
Okay.
The only thing I had for Disco Exorcist, I think this is really honestly, this was right before I had met Richard. Richard, the only thing I had for that is I think he sent me a link or something like that. Or an email. He sent me an email and he asked me if he could pass the word about extras. And that's actually, Richard and I actually, we became friends just because of Facebook, believe it or not. And he sent me a message that, hey, if you want to do it. And I'm like, I'm not really an extra person. Funny story, though. Great story about this. So Richard and I did this film called Normal back in 2013. And I wrote the script, all these other things. I had met Richard. Apparently, I met Richard in 1995, and I never knew it. And so then I realized I've actually known Richard in different ways throughout my life without knowing it. He used to work at a comic book store that my dad used to take me to. This is so weird, so random. Like my dad knew him. Like my dad passed, never, my dad knew who he was, I guess. Really, really weird. And it's totally like serendipitous. That word, I'm so tired. That serendipitous way that in 1995 I saw a film that he did, and we were, he had offered me to, at that point, because film was great, and he said, here, the film was unnamed at that point, and so he says, here, come work in a film set, and I never did. I never talked to him, and so literally years later, we had brought this up, and I said, I remember you. You were at this, you were there at the film class, and and he goes, yeah, guess what that film was called? And I go, what's it called? He goes, it was called Normal. And so when I wrote the script for Normal, that one never really kind of went. I don't know if it went anywhere or whatever. But Richard said, we're going to name this film Normal too. But it's just so weird. It's going to kind of be a bookend. So it was really kind of cool. And but it was when I was a student. I met him, and he offered me to work on films, and I never took him up on it. Cut to so Disco Exorcist came out. It was this big thing. Richard, did a great job on it. And then he did Exhumed. If you never saw Exhumed, it's a great film too. And one day we were on Facebook going back and forth about something, and we became just kind of friendlier, and we knew of each other. People for years say we have to work together. And one day he made the attempt, and he reached out and he says, how would you like to write a film? And I said, okay, what do you want the film to be? He goes, kind of gave me some ideas of where to go with things. And we met at a Chinese restaurant. I don't eat Chinese. So it was the next night. We just met. We're so excited about the idea. And I handed him the first 5 pages of a script called Murder University. And he shot in the film those 5 pages that we met at the Chinese restaurant on, which was amazing. And so that's how Murder University came together, and we started working together. And if you've never seen the film, it's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. And every so often he'll come in. We probably have about 15 or 20 scripts, I'd say, that have not been shot. Like literally was making scripts. We have one that we really want to do too. I really want him to direct it. After the pandemic, I keep bothering about it. It's called Lost in Our Town. And it's actually a PG rated film.
Balderdash, sir.
Yeah, it's a great film. I'm really excited about it. We talked about it so much. We both wrote the script. We had a reading of it right before the pandemic again. It all got shut down. But it's one of those films I think that Richard needs to do before he retires.
I would love to see Richard direct a PG film.
Oh, it's literally. Have you guys ever seen Midnight Madness?
My favorite movie.
Yeah, it's like Midnight Madness.
Yeah.
Basically, I'll give you the really quick thing on that one. That one is basically a film of. Well, actually, I don't want to say too much about it because it's really kind of this Midnight Madness. If you're after the show, I can tell you about things, but it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Not enough people have seen it. It's one of my favorites, but yeah, I love that movie. Michael J. Fox's first role.
Yeah, and Pee Wee Herman's in it too. Paul Rubens. Yeah. Unbelievable. Yep. So Richard and I will be working together, I know, sometime. But we just have to figure out what that project will be. But with this is going to take this film will take at least 2 to 3 years of my time right now. It's already started. My guess, if I get it shot this year, I might be able to get it out next year, but I don't want to rush it. I want to make something that's of quality that lasts. I don't want to put together something that's just like a bicycle. I want to put together a fully, I don't want to put together a Fiat. I hope you guys don't have Fiats. I want to put together a car that works.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's my nana always used to say haste makes waste.
Right. And I agree with that.
I think that applies on all aspects of life.
Right. So if people watching this want to donate, feel free to donate. Spend your kids' college fund. Believe me, it'll be worth it. We will take any donations, big or small. We're trying to hit $30,000. But the goal really is to really, if we can get people real excited about it, because like I said, the Kickstarter works great. But I'd really love to raise $100,000 so we get the state tax credit. That'd be the dream. And really put the quality into the film. But it's all about money now. It's about trying to get as much as you probably can into a piggy bank and trying to make the best film possible.
Well, and like you said, it's we really needed to support the indie filmmaker,
Right.
especially local indie filmmakers, and we do have the link for the Kickstarter up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. The reason why I was bringing up Disco Exorcist, I saw on your Facebook a picture with you, and unfortunately we lost him during the pandemic, but Carmine Capobianco.
Oh yeah.
I can
Oh
never say
gosh,
his name right.
Carmine. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
what a guy.
Yeah.
Carmine and I, we actually never. Was he ever in a film of mine that I've written? I was using a film I produced. I love Carmine. Carmine is a gem of a human. He used to, used to email me just randomly, like message me, like, God, what a great human being, man. Like just a legend in so many ways. And he used to message me at night and just be like, how things going. We get so excited. We never actually got a chance to meet, I think, till Sins of Dracula came out. And when Sins of Dracula came out, him and I would like bear hug each other. And we were like inseparable. I loved Carmine. He was just, wherever he is right now, unbelievable dude.
we met him through James Balsamo, and then ever since we met him, it was like, we used to go to a lot of cons and always see him at the cons, and just the nicest person you'd ever meet. Just
James is going because he's having quite a career. I'll tell you, like, this guy's insane. I love him.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking to the right guy, also, Leo, about going to a lot of cons.
Right.
Yeah.
I just came back from San Diego. The what's it called? They had the special edition
bonus round.
Oh my gosh, it was probably my favorite con in San Diego because there wasn't a huge amount of people taking pictures all day long.
I love the photo you took of a couple that just got married, and you were just like, I guess not everybody's cosplaying. Whoopsie.
One year, I don't know if I ever told the story. My hotel is was right on the water. So actually, one day we're going to a place called Pizza Nova, and I went to go get takeout, and there was a wedding happening, and I was like, okay, so I had to go through it to get to Pizza Nova. And I just took a plate, and they were like, "Hey, go ahead, whatever." I literally crashed the wedding, and I literally was like, "Hey, I went to the Comic-Con." They're like, "Hey, congratulations!" They were so welcoming, and I will say I probably had the best. I had like 52 cheeses there. I took like one of each. It was unbelievable. Like I just couldn't freaking resist. I mean, I was sick the next day on the plane, but Jesus, it was great. It was like literally cheese. There was green cheese. It was red cheese. It was like, there was like cheese that maybe it might even be more. It was definitely at least 52. It was like unbelievable. So I
one for each week of the year.
Oh man, and I had to try them. You're right there. These people I just met who are my best friends. They're like, get some cheese, and I'm like, make sure you guys get some. They had locks.
This will be worth the bowel obstruction, right?
What's funny is indie films never seem to get the recognition they deserve. But you know what the most popular indie film out there is?
Blair Witch.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah.
It's an indie film.
Right.
Because his name is Indy.
Waka waka waka. Ha 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 ha. Jesus Christ! And all his fucking Carpenter friends.
Wow, that joke bombed in 4K.
It's an indie film. Come on, see Indiana Jones. Indie.
No, RW, keep going. Jokes are always funnier when you explain them.
Hey, I have to pull one of these zingers. I have to pull one of these zingers on our podcast.
No, one of these. Tell a zinger, and I'm sure we'll love it.
I found the button. Here we go.
Rim shot, indeed.
You guys have one of those sounds.
Leo, why is this the first time I'm fucking hearing these on
That's
these
awesome. We need it. We need that.
It is awesome, but
ready.
I'm also angry and confused.
Well, yeah.
Why has this not been employed previously?
I've never played with the mixer that way.
Play with the fucking mixer then, dude. Oh my god. Wonderful. Absolutely fantastic.
You're welcome.
That just made my week.
That made my week too.
Yeah, for real. I did not anticipate it. And that was like Christmas, Easter, and my birthday all rolled up into one.
That was like all 8 nights of Hanukkah all at once. It was great.
There was enough oil for 8 nights. All because of that one womp womp sound effect.
Right.
It truly was a miracle.
Thank you. I'm finally going to throw up that cheese from years ago. All of it's going to come out at once. Great.
Outstanding.
Yes.
So anyway,
yes.
Bringing it back. We're hitting the hour mark here, so we probably want to get to the point where we're wrapping it up. Leo, if you would like to do the rounds like you do, because I can't control what squares pop up.
Yeah, I can do that. So just want to remind everybody, definitely check out the Kickstarter for The Haunted and the Hunted. It's a film by Lenny Schwartz, and link is in the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. If you are listening to us on Dead Dork Radio, head on over to thedorkening.com or find us on Facebook or YouTube, and you can find all the information there. And yeah, for me, just Google Leo Pond. You find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. And I say which is which. But I do run a little thing called the Dorkening Podcast Network. Got about 40 shows on a network. A lot of awesome people doing a lot of awesome stuff, including some comic book shows. Lenny, we got to get you on.
I love that. Absolutely. I heard there's one about Batman, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely.
That one. Absolutely. I'm in.
Awesome.
Let me know when.
Matter of fact, we had Athena on one of the other shows as well.
Did you?
Yeah. I'm. What's that?
She went on without me.
Yeah.
You tell her when you see her. I'll tell her. I'm like, look, I'll text her. Like, you went on without me. Her boyfriend Rick is awesome. You should have him on. He's fucking amazing.
Actually, we had him on as well.
No way.
Yeah.
Rick is
awesome.
fucking great.
But I am planning on getting them on the Batman show. So when I do, we'll have you on as well, and we'll make it a party.
Absolutely, I miss Athena so much. She's amazing. She's one of my favorite people. Honestly, she really is.
So Lenny, where do you like people interacting with you on social media?
I mean, you can find me on Facebook. I have 5,000 friends, so I'll have to clear up some space. I noticed you guys friend requested me, so I'll have to clear up some dead weight again, which I always have to do, it seems. But I'll add you guys on probably the next day or two. But you can find me on Facebook. Feel free to message me. I always check them. Instagram's a good place to find me. Find me. You can also email me, LNNYSCHWARTZ@AOL.com. Yep, AOL. But yeah, find me on Facebook. Find me on Instagram. Lenny's making a movie. Yeah, find me wherever you guys can find me. I'll be happy to interact with anybody. Okay, I love doing it.
So I have to ask, because I had a boss that had AOL, and like every now and then, like I'd hear, he'd like forget his speakers on, and all of a sudden, like as loud as it can be, you'd hear, "You've got mail," and I'd yell, "We've traveled into the past again." But what was?
Oh God, no! We got stuck in the Wayback Machine again.
I know.
Nightmare.
But I didn't know that. I mean, like, are they charging you for email?
No.
Hey,
Still going on the 1992 model.
Leo, you know dang well that I have the dark discussions at AOL.com. So don't pretend that you don't know anything about AOL email. That's all lies. He's gaslighting us.
Right.
Shut up, Philip. You're ruining the chops busting.
They're not supposed to be charging me.
No, they are not, RW. But you can send me that money.
Believe it or not,
send it to the Kickstarter. Boom.
I didn't have any social media until 2009. Believe it or not. I didn't have an email. I didn't have anything. My boss, when I worked at Trinity Rep, said, "Get an email or I'll fire you." And I said, "Okay." So I got an email, and it was my AOL. It's still there.
You got it, boss.
Hey, they're pretty good. You get less spam, I've noticed, with AOL than my other accounts, so it's much better. Yeah.
Well, it's also tough. I mean, you can get like a regular Gmail account, but if you're getting like a business account, you got to pay for it. It's just, So Brandon,
you can come on over and check out the Facebook group Powers Combined. Lenny is a member. Leo is a member. I think Philip is a member, and RW is a member. Our number one rule is don't be a jerk. You will get booted out immediately. We are there to just have fun, share geeky interests, ask questions without judgment. It's a lot of fun. A lot of good people having a good time. Otherwise, you can check me out on Twitter at Brandon's Powers and on Instagram at This Brandon Has Powers. And you can check me out every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Dorkening Wednesday Night Podcast, as well as the bi-weekly show switching off week to week between the Dork Night with Justin Cooper and Leo Pond. That is where we discuss all things Batman. It was mentioned just a few minutes ago briefly. And Comics Paradox, also with Leo and Justin, in which we talk about alternate reality tales such as what ifs, Elseworlds, things of that ilk. And that's, like I said, that's going to be getting rolled out soon every other week between the two shows. So keep your eyes peeled.
RW.
Yes, I'm still using AOL. I've had the same email address for like 20-something years. So why
you still use Alta Vista to search online too?
Yeah. Anyways, you can find me here at officialrwmartin.com. Links to Twitter, Instagram, Cameo, Tenor, 12 miles away. All the other social media is there. YouTube. I'm forgetting something, but if you go there, you'll find it. And don't forget to pick up a copy of my book, Life Inside My Head, Scattered Tale, Living with ADHD. Hold on a second. What was that? Okay. I'm living with, what was I saying? ADHD. Right. Book. Anyways, yes, follow me. And it'll be fun. And that's about it. AOL. You've got mail. Welcome.
Hello.
Yes, folks can find me on Facebook under my name, but also at the Dark Discussions Podcast Facebook group, and they can go to www.darkdiscussions.com where they can find our podcast. It's been around for 11 years, and they can email us at darkdiscussions@aol.com.
There we go. And for those of you listening on Dead Dork Radio, we will let you return to your regularly scheduled, I believe 90s at 9 is playing right now. So with that, we'll catch you guys later.
90 years old.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, guys.